Good evening and welcome to the Northern Sun Experience. The fall season is officially underway, so let's get right to the action with the start of football. And the first game of 2014 was a rematch of the last game in 2013. St. Cloud State upset Minnesota State Mankato 54-48 in a wild D2 playoff game last year, but the Mavericks had revenge on their minds in the season-opening training kit game on September 4th. Let's head to Mankato where everyone was fired up for the rematch, more than 6,000 on hand at Blakesley Stadium. First quarter, Mavs get right to work on their first possession. Ricky Lloyd, the 5-yard touchdown to Austin Ryder, and Mankato's up 7-zip early on. Later in the first, Mankato's D turns it up. Huskies quarterback Nate Meyer is sacked by Josh Gordon, and yes, there are some Josh Gordons still playing football. Second quarter, 10-0 now, and Meyer will get picked off by Corey Brent. He takes it back to the St. Cloud 27. Now, the Mavs would miss a field goal on that drive, but a couple of possessions later, they would keep on rolling. Lloyd finds Bryce Duncan in the end zone, 20-yard pitch and catch, makes it 17-0 at halftime. Second half, Mankato works the ground game. Andy Pfeiffer takes the handoff, and he is gone. 62 yards to the house. Mavs up 24-0 at that point, and they get some revenge, and they get the training kit as they shut out St. Cloud State 31-0. Thursday's other matchup found Winona State taking on Northern State in Aberdeen, our Midco SN HD game of the week, and this would slowly become the Josh Mikas show. First quarter, Jack Nelson goes up top and Mikas would come on down. 50-yard pitch and catch, Warriors up 7-0. Later in the first, Winona would work the ground game. Theo Burkett finds a hole and turns on the Jets. 75 yards to pay dirt, and at that point, the Warriors are up 13-3. But after that running commercial, the real show resumes, starring Josh Mikas. Late in the first quarter, Nelson finds Mikas again, this time from 13 yards out. Winona State's up 19-3 after one. Just 30 seconds to go until halftime. It's Nelson to Mikas again. More combos than a gas station pantry. Warriors up 33-6 at halftime. And just for good measure, Mikas decides that 4 is more. His fourth touchdown comes on this 30-yard pass over the middle. 13 catches, 224 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a win for his team. Winona crushes Northern State 47-13, and afterwards, Mikas talked about his big day and staying focused.
Hopefully just keep rolling like this. I told the receivers we got to enjoy this for the bus ride home, and then tomorrow we're back to work for next week. So just got to keep taking it a week at a time. Coming into camp, we just focused on this game. We're not looking ahead at all. So just focus, 1 week at a time and keep rolling like this. Good things should happen.
Let's fast forward to Saturday afternoon. The University of Sioux Falls took on Minot State in the season opener. Cougars already up 21-0, but check out this play. USF's Josh Angulo hurdles a defender, but then gets popped by Minot State's Troy Garland. A nice play on both sides. Later, the Beavers are on offense, and Zach Kuna finds the play-action pass over the middle to Glenn Burrell for the touchdown. That cuts the Coup lead to 21-7. But USF would score 13 points in the final 90 seconds of the first half. Nephi Garcia scampers in from 3 yards out to make it 27-7 after a missed PAT. And then after a Minot State interception, Matthew Young caps off the first half with this 18-yard strike to Brady Rose. 34-7 Coup at the break, and they top the Beavers 41-14. The other Sioux Falls school in the conference was on the road as Augustana visited Minnesota Crookston. Second quarter, Vikings already up 3-zip and looking for more. Trey Hyde goes up top, and check out the catch by Matt Gary, keeping his toes inbounds for the score. Augie now up 10-0. Later in the quarter, Hyde decides, hey, that rhymes, to do it himself. He weaves his way in from 15 yards out. Vikings now up 17. Then, with time winding down in the first half, Hyde goes back to his bread and butter, finding Matt Heller for the 22-yard strike with just 4 seconds to go before the break. 24-0 at that point, and the route was on. Second half, Augie keeps its foot on the gas pedal. CJ Ham pigs out on the Crookston D, 18 yards for the score, 146 on the day, and the Vikings run away with this one 54-0 over the Golden Eagles. Well, when we come back, the rest of the football slate in the NSIC, including a wild comeback from Upper Iowa and a last-second finish between Southwest Minnesota State and University of Mary.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Well, there were 4 more football games on Saturday, and we start and end this segment of highlights with a couple of wild finishes. We'll start in Bismarck, where the University of Mary was taking on Southwest Minnesota State. Marauders already up 3-0, but the Mustangs changed that in a hurry. Charlie Kern on the QB keeper from 13 yards out. SMSU takes the lead 7-3. Second quarter now, and Kern showing off his arm. Looking deep for Kevin Parks, and he's got him. 47 yards down to the Marauder 25. A few plays later, Tyler Tonderum with a nice spin and break outside. 7-yard scamper puts the Mustangs up 13-3. Now Mary's down 18-3 in the fourth, and that's when the comeback begins. Zach Roberson to Nick Joliffe for the 20-yard score. Now the extra point was bobbled, so it's just 18-9. A field goal cuts it to 18-12, and the Marauders mount one last drive. 34 seconds to go. Roberson finds LaShawn Pope over the middle for 25 yards, down to the Mustang 16. A very next play, Roberson hits Jake East for the 16-yard touchdown, and we are tied at 18, but would they make the extra point? Spoiler alert, they did. 19-18 is your final. The Marauders come back from 15 down in the fourth quarter to win a thriller. Here's offensive coordinator Tim Belmore on that last-minute drive.
The preparation started long ago in January with Sunday afternoons when they would just absolutely work their tails off. It continued on through spring and into summer and then all fall camp. We worked 2-minute drill every practice, all fall camp. We hadn't had as much success as we wanted to, but you give us 2 timeouts, a little easier scenario. So I'm just so proud of the kids and the coaches. They were awesome.
Let's head down to Nebraska. Wayne State opening up their season against Bemidji State. Wildcats already up 7-0 and going deep. Zach Osborne hits Adam Stark for 66 yards down to the Beavers 3. On the very next play, Chad Cook runs it in from 3 yards out, and Wayne State's up 14-0 after 1. Second quarter, Bemidji State gets on the board. Jordan Hine finds Evan Olson from 24 yards out. That cuts the Wayne State lead in half at 14-7. Now, Bemidji would get to within 1 at 14-13, but the Wildcats were simply too much. Osborne to Cole McDaniel for the 28-yard score, and Wayne is the better state this time around. They top Bemidji State 35-13. Let's go to our third state of this tour and trek to Duluth, where UMD took on Concordia St. Paul. Now watch this play from the Bulldogs' Drew Bauer. Fakes the handoff, then fakes the option, spins, and he is gone. 34 yards for a touchdown, and UMD's up 10-0 in the second quarter. Third quarter now, Duluth up 13-3. Logan Louders rumbles 19 yards down to the Concordia 6. And then on the next play, Bauer does his best Tim Tebow impression, the jump pass across his body and across the field to Taylor Grant for the 6-yard touchdown. That makes it 20-3. Concordia would fight back, however. Corey Cole keeps it himself for the 4-yard score. Another field goal would cut it to 20-13, but the Golden Bears would run out of golden opportunities. Duluth hangs on for the 7-point victory over Concordia, 20-13. We go to our fourth state in Iowa for our last football game between Upper Iowa and Minnesota State Moorhead. First quarter, Dragons flying on the ground. Zane Medhog hauls his way in, 15-yard touchdown, extra point no good, but Moorhead's up 6-0. The Peacocks would strike back. Chris Smith scampers 30 yards for the touchdown. The extra point puts Upper Iowa up on Moorhead 7-6. Late in the first, Dragons strike through the air. Demetrius Carr up top to Dan Grande, who's coming up large with this 54-yard touchdown reception. Moorhead would score 20 unanswered points, but Upper Iowa would score 30 in the fourth quarter. Cole Jashke to Trey McTaggart for the score here. Last play of the game, Moorhead down 44-36. Jake Hodge can't find anyone, tries to run for the end zone, but he is stopped short. Upper Iowa comes from 20 down to pick up the victory, 44-36. Well, here's a look ahead to this Saturday, and only 2 of the 8 matchups feature 2 undefeated teams. The University of Mary is at Winona State, and Minnesota Duluth is at Augustana at 1 o'clock Saturday. That UMD Augie game will also be broadcast live right here on Midco Sports Network. Minnesota State Mankato is at Minnesota State Moorhead in the other 1 p.m. game. And then at 3, we have Wayne State at St. Cloud State. Then a 4-pack of games at 6 p.m. Sioux Falls is at Bemidji State, Northern State at Concordia St. Paul, Upper Iowa at Minot State, and Minnesota Crookston is at Southwest Minnesota State. Well, when we come back, the reigning NSIC volleyball champs keep on shining, while runners use the shine to navigate a cross-country meet through the dark.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. The 7-time defending NCAA champion Concordia volleyball team kicked off its season by hosting its own tournament. When you have the prestige the Golden Bears have, I suppose you can choose exactly how you want to start the season. So they began in the friendly confines of the Gangelhoff Center. They battled SMSU last Friday. Golden Bears already up 2 sets and looking for the kill, literally. Riley Hansen ends the back and forth to put Concordia up 16-13 in the 3rd set. Later, it's Hansen again. She had 12 kills on the night for the Golden Bears. They're up 22-21 over a pesky Mustang team. To the GoPro situated on the net, a cool angle here as Heather Schiller's arm will come into view. She hits it on the line, one of her 9 kills on the evening, and Concordia sweeps SMSU 3-zip. They won their other 3 games over the weekend, so the Golden Bears start the season 4-0. And from Golden, we go to the Golden Twilight of Yankton Trail Park in Sioux Falls. Augustana College hosted the 4th annual Augustana Twilight Competition. The lights from the soccer fields at Yankton Trail were used to provide illumination throughout the cross-country course. Definitely a cool event to check out. The top men's runners in the NSIC were Matt Horan and Robert Brockmuller from the University of Sioux Falls. The top women's runner from the Northern Sun was Sasha Hovind of Northern State. And speaking of Northern, let's head to Aberdeen for some soccer action from Sunday. Non-conference game for the Wolves against Washburn. That's Brittany Teets with the save after the header doesn't go. 17th minute now, you can't see it, but trust us, Anna Bondi cleans up the mess in front with a goal to put Northern up 1-0. And Bondi would do it again later in the half. 45th minute, Bondi once again snaking it past Tori Fuglister. The Wolves get their first win of the season, 3-1 over Washburn. They're now 1-1 on the season. And the Ichabods from Washburn, they took on MSU Moorhead earlier last week. This is Stephanie Lindo with the shot for the Dragons. The block is made, but Janae DiNardo puts in the rebound to give Moorhead a 1-0 lead. And that would prove to be more than enough for keeper Ashley Lentz. Here she makes the save on Emily Stauffer's kick, one of her 7 saves on the day, and Moorhead wins its opener 1-0. They lost to Northwest Missouri State the next day 6-0, so they are 1-1 on the season as well. Let's head south to Southwest Minnesota State, taking on Nebraska Kearney on Sunday. Off the free kick, scramble in front, and Justine Hauk will eventually get the goal, her 2nd of the young season, and the Mustangs are up 1-0. 17th minute now, SMSU gets it out in the open. And it's the junior Miranda Cadena taking her time and getting the goal to go, and there would be more where that came from. Just 4 minutes later, the header bounces toward Cadena and she takes advantage. The Highlands, California native would add again to her scoring prowess just 15 minutes later as she gets the assist here from Natalie Zobel. That completes the hat trick, and the Mustangs top Nebraska Kearney 6-1. SMSU also 1-1 on the season overall thus far. Now, earlier in the week, the Lopers from Nebraska Kearney took on USF in Sioux Falls. This is Gabby Gill scoring the goal for the Cougars to tie things at 1 in the 50th minute. Later, Nebraska Kearney on the attack, but Jordan Crosby makes the save for the Coup, one of her 6 on the afternoon, and this game would actually end in a 1-1 tie after 2 overtimes. Finally, Upper Iowa started its season at the Peacock Classic against Rockhurst. This is Morgan's springboard on the breakaway, but her shot goes wide. Later, Springboard will get another chance off a cross pass, but Caitlin Winchell is there to snuff it out for Rockhurst. And Winchell was on her game for the Hawks, 5 saves in all for the keeper, and the Peacocks can't win on their home field, falling 1-0. When we come back, our spotlight turns on Winona State, where academics, athletics, and family all come together.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Well, every week we highlight one of the institutions representing the NSIC with something we like to call Under the Northern Sun. This week we feature Winona State, a school that balances academics and athletics to create a family atmosphere. Here's Doug Westerman.
Winona, Minnesota. This island city that runs along the mighty Mississippi River is the home of the Warriors of Winona State University. WSU has 14 athletic teams that include 9 women's teams and 5 men's teams. The university itself also has 65 undergraduate programs, which gives student athletes a lot of opportunities to choose from when deciding to come to Winona State.
I chose Winona State because, first of all, it was a good location and it had the program that I wanted to go into, which was cardiac rehab, and I really just liked the atmosphere and the campus, and just everything was perfect.
While Winona State has many options, it's the family atmosphere that Warrior athletes love about Winona.
That's how we look at ourselves. We look at ourselves as one big family, and that's on the football team and even with the rest of the athletic programs around here, basketball, volleyball, soccer, whatever it may be. We're kind of like our own community of just like a big family almost, like we like to call it.
I just think that Winona is a really welcoming school. There's a lot of nice people on all of the sports teams. It's really easy to find a community of people that are like you and that you can just mesh with, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
The Warriors are considered the pride and joy of southeastern Minnesota, as WSU fans come from far and wide to cheer for the Warriors.
Just the community itself, the environment around here, I mean, you couldn't ask for much more. You got the bluffs. It's a beautiful place, and the community is just awesome here, and I've really learned that since I've been here over these last 5 or 6 years, that the community stands behind their sports programs very strong, and they give a lot.
In recent years, the Warriors have developed a recipe for success at the Division II level. Dating back to 2006, Winona State has won 7 NCAA regional championships, including 2 NCAA runner-ups, and 2 national championships in men's basketball.
2 years ago when we were going to Kentucky for the Final Four, I was astonished to see it when we came out running the gate, how all the left side to us was filled with Winona State apparel and Winona State fans and parents, and it's incredible, and they keep doing their thing.
Part of the Warriors' success can be attributed to top-notch facilities, including an integrated wellness complex. However, it's the support of the coaches, faculty, and fans that keep players coming to Winona State.
Awesome coaching staff. They care about their players, teachers, support their the athletic programs. They care about us. They help us out with schoolwork and in class. If we need an excuse to miss because of a game, they're all about helping us figuring it out.
The traveling is actually pretty fun with the teams. All the faculty is really flexible with that, and there's a lot of time on the road to do homework, and just bonding with your team is a good part of it, and you really learn a lot of time management skills, which is a good thing.
It's a good program. You really once you get here, you really learn and understand, what bleeding purple means. I'm gonna bleed purple for the rest of my life. Came in once a Warrior. I'm always gonna be a Warrior. Just a great place all in all, and I've really enjoyed my time here.
When we come back, the top plays from the first week of the NSIC season. It's DB's Picks, my top 5, coming up next.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Let's honor the best of the past week in the NSIC with DB's Picks, my top 5 plays or moments of the previous week in the NSIC. We'll start at number 5 and head to Marshall, Minnesota, where Southwest Minnesota State's Miranda Cadena notches the hat trick. 3 goals in SMSU's 6-1 victory over Nebraska Kearney. The margin of victory was 5, and Cadena checks in at number 5 of my inaugural picks. For number 4, we go northwest to Crookston, where the Viking ship grounded the Golden Eagles, and it was plays like this from Matt Gary that helped Augie to the victory. Check it out again, a nice pass from Trey Hyde, and Gary just gets his toes in. 5 receptions, 82 yards, and that touchdown in a 54-0 rout for Augustana over Minnesota Crookston. Number 3 is the performance of Josh Mikas from Winona State, who makes Matt Gary's stat line look absolutely pedestrian. 13 catches, 224 yards, and 4 touchdowns. It's only a shame he's not available in any fantasy football leagues. Mikas helped his Warriors to a road victory over the Wolves from Northern State, 47-13. At number 2, it's Minnesota Duluth quarterback Drew Bauer. Play action on the handoff and then the fake option, one of the best fakes or jukes you will ever see, as he scores from 34 yards out. Plays like that helped Bauer and his Bulldogs get past a feisty Concordia St. Paul team 20-13 over the Golden Bears. But our inaugural number 1 DB pick of the week is the UMary Marauders' fourth quarter. Zach Roberson leads his team back from 15 points down in the final frame. This touchdown pass to Jake East with just 23 seconds left tied things up, but they had bobbled an extra point earlier in the game, so the question was, would they make it this time? And sure enough, they came through in the clutch. That extra point provides the final margin of victory. UMary tops SMSU 19-18. It's a 1-point victory for the Marauders, and it's good enough for the number 1 play of the week. Once again, a thank you to all NSIC member schools for contributing their time and video to make this show happen. For all of our schools, I'm David Brown, and I will NSI. See you next week.